ready for map 2, best of 5, so we've definitely got more to go regardless of the outcome of this. However, it could dictate how much further we have to go, as if Liquid tie this up, we'll have 2 more maps. If CLG win it, we could potentially only have 1 more.
Well, the interesting thing about that is CLG won Liquid's map there. That was Liquid's pick, and CLG definitely the favourite team going into this series, picking that one up. We go into Dust2 now, where it's a little bit more equal. It doesn't really matter what side you go here, but CLG definitely the favoured team going into this one. Would you agree?
Oh, 100%. I think, well, we speculated that at the start of the night as well.
Sure.
You guys said 3-1. Look, in the heart of hearts, I do think 3-1 is where this should end based on statistics of these two teams. I said 3-0 because I do think that is where CLG's been playing in comparison as of late. With this map being CLG's choice and the way and aim skill that they have, the way they play it, just the aggression that they use and how quickly they'll get out mid. Now, again, you go back to the MLG, it was Peter that was really aggressive with the op. JDM doesn't quite have that same aggressive flair on the T side. But it's just, I mean, you got Tarek, you've got Cutler that stepped up. Everyone can hit shots on this team.
Cutler actually really impressed me that game. Some of his entrances into middle, going to vents, one round he got into vents, like he said, he wasn't expecting the counter boost to come back up there, and he seemed like he was just so on point with his one-bullet headshots. Really actually interesting to watch. One of the players who doesn't really stand out like in that sort of way too much. That was kind of cool to watch.
Again, though, it's not that he doesn't stand out. That's not his claim to fame. I don't ever expect Cutler. There will be games here and there when he'll be the top fragger, but that's not what I want from him or expect from him. I expect consistency, and that's what he normally gives. Yeah,
so. I absolutely agree. But obviously, a map, Liquid, I would say, after that performance, it's the same thing that happened on Overpass. They have a very difficult start to the game, and then they find their footing, and it's just a little bit too late. They look so strong on those last 6 or 7 rounds. They looked like there was nothing getting past them. Every retake, every clutch was going in their favor. It's just the last round.
And there was 2 recipes to that this time, because on Overpass, it wasn't so much that they started the half slow. They actually, and we're going back 2 nights in this, of course, the Overpass game that was 16-14 with the no defuse kit at the end for Adren. That was actually, they did win the pistol. They started to claw things back in. It was very close from the outset of it. But this time they gave up 5 rounds after the start of that, the first gun as well as the pistol. But they had 9-6. And usually the point I'm trying to make is, normally we say it's Liquid's T side that didn't do much for them. They had 9-6 on cash, which isn't too bad. And they also had about 4 rounds in a row at one point. It was just slow start to get even on the second half to get back into it. Once the momentum rolled, it was great. It was just too little too late.
It was just, again, so CLG did the full-on B rush onto cash. And like I said, that's normally a round that will get you a guaranteed win. That's exactly what went down. And then they had that confidence going into the first gun round, did another B rush again. And that's when it's like, if you get that sort of momentum rolling, you take those kind of 50-50 odds of just going in and surprising the CT. If it works out for you, obviously get 5 rounds on the board. And it was difficult for Liquid to get back into it. They did it. But again, it's just unfortunately for them, they get so close and yet so far. If you lose on the 30th round twice to a team, that's why I'm saying it can be better just to lose quite early on in the stage and move on to the next map instead of having that release.
And just to go into the complexion, I talked a little bit about the aggression from CLG on Dust2, but the complexion of the 2 teams that we have on the map that we're about to play, Dust2, you really need a strong AWP player. You've highlighted Adren already against JDM, and JDM CT side, I expect nothing but greatness from him. Being able to hold solid angles on this map, it's the name of the game for an AWP player. But we also need that from Adren, and we also need them to answer. We need Hiko to step up. If Adren can't start hitting op shots, and we've seen little sparks in games of variations, we need it to be every round from him.
He seems to be great for one frag. He doesn't seem to have that multi-frag potential that a lot of AWP players bring to the table. So you see him in situations here go for a cheeky face, and he can do good flick shots, but there's never more than 1 kill for Adren, it seems like. And that can be great. Obviously, opening up rounds, if you're a defensive AWP and get 1, that's fine. But when you have the players such as JDM going up against you, and they're getting 2 or 3 kills in one of the rounds and actually taking it from a deficit into their favor, that's when an AWP becomes really valuable, especially on maps like Dust2 as well. CTs are going to find themselves on the back foot a lot, holding positions by themselves, especially AWPs playing towards maybe long or car area, and that's where you need players to be getting multi-frags. You can't just get 1 in that situation. If you're 1 player playing on the A site, you have 1 potentially holding your long for you. You need to make sure you're hitting 2, maybe 3 kills just to kind of guarantee the round. And I'm yet to see that from Adren, at least the last couple of nights. Although he hasn't been playing bad, there's no big explosive stuff.
It's not even that the multi-kill potential's not there. He's got a good number of first kills on his CT side. That's what you're saying. But there are the occasional round where he'll pick up 2 or 3. It's just not enough. It's usually 1 and done. 1 and trade, down, gone. And then they don't have the refrag potential with the AWP. He gives up, usually in the positions he's playing, he's giving up valid and crucial map control against them. Often saw him there in mid on cash. If he went down cash
on B as well, like I said, when he went towards B with the AWP, you would assume the AWP faces towards B storage and at least gets information there. he was quite timid in some rounds. He was actually just, at the beginning, he had a decent spawn and just went straight to the bomb site, holding it very passively, and that means the Ts, if they are rushing, they get in before any calls are actually made. It's very difficult for the CTs to even rotate in that situation. He goes down without a kill, and the Ts get the bomb down, and then it's almost impossible for CT to rotate in that position. So Dust2 definitely very AWP heavy on both sides. You have to be moving your AWP player around the map. Potentially the best setup is the double AWPs on CTs, having towards.
Absolutely.
We see a lot of teams doing that, especially the likes of NIP can do it. Forest and Alo picking up the AWP into A. Forest AWPing B. That can be really hard to stop.
It's kind of weird that TSM is a team that actually has really good double op potential, and the fact that Cajun B, Device, Kerrigan, they'll all pick it up in certain situations, but yet they don't often run it on Dust, or at least not as much as something like Mirage.
They do sometimes, but like it's very situational. Like obviously CT economies are a hard nut to crack sometimes, and if you can get rolling, you find yourself 3 or 4 rounds in a row, and you have the opportunity to pick up a T-side AWP that you've taken down, that's when you'll see them do it. Obviously, it's very situational. You need to make sure your setup is going to complement that, and actually whether you think it's going to work against the Ts, what they're proposing, or if they're doing very slow play, that's when it works great, because you can have the AWP in the back of B, potentially towards window, maybe, or maybe if you're going a little bit more aggressive to the platform, getting those early calls, that's when it works very well. It allows your riflers to be more dynamic. They can go towards middle at the start, and they can go back towards long and kind of change their positions every round. That's when it's a really strong setup to have.
Yeah, and it's interesting to think about that. And again, for CLG, you don't often think of them as a double opping team, but they do have a chance with Tarek to pick it up occasionally.
I wasn't a fan of Tarek's AWPing. When I saw him,
it's really, really hot or cold.
Yeah, so like we saw him in some of the rounds, it was 3-on-3. He just went for the full-on face, the YOLO face in middle, and he actually allowed himself to be. He was a double scope looking towards the boost, and it's got completely wiped out from main. It seems like his awareness maybe not too great when he's got the AWP in his hand, but I wasn't a believer when I saw it coming out. But I haven't seen CLG play too much Dust2 since my time here, so I'd be interested to see what they do bring on their CT side. Obviously, this is CLG's pick here, so Liquid actually opting to go on the T side, by the looks of things, which obviously isn't.
I was kind of considering that they may. Again, this is a mentality thing for me, but it is Dust2. There's a debate on which side you'd rather have. And where Liquid's been struggling on their T sides, get it done and over with very quickly. Try and take the fight to CLG, catch them off guard early, and then get the momentum. Because you know they're going to have the momentum. And Liquid seem to be a very momentum-based team. If they know they're going to have the momentum on CT late, try and get the hard stuff done first, whereas have the momentum early and then struggle late, potentially get on tilt a little bit and fall apart.
The thing about Dust2 as well, it doesn't really matter what team you start. It's not like, oh, they've got the CT start, these guys are going to win. It's whatever side you feel more comfortable on, I think, is what you should be going for. And try and post a decent score in the first half and set the other team a target there. And that's why I've always played this map. I think that's the best way to kind of approach it. It's definitely like CT can have a stronger setup if they get the pistol, especially. It can be very difficult for T to get back into this, but the way it looks like Liquid will be going on the T side, and it has been a problem for them in the last couple of nights. The T side, especially on maps like Overpass and Cobble, being very static. So Dust2 allows you to utilize spawns a lot more and trying to get your players into positions like long, and obviously doing simple things like mid to B splits. It's quite simple with the tactical approach. So maybe this is a map that will favor them. We know there's a massive amount of talent there, especially with Nitros and playing so good, and especially the opening picks he can provide. They need to be utilizing him and making sure he gets to positions where he has the opportunity to even get those headshots. Obviously, A, always going to be a heavy area of contention. You know JDM could be waiting there with the AWP towards that car area. It really is the staple for most CT setups.
We are going to get underway. We were just waiting for FNS to join in the server. He was the last of which to do so. And now we'll begin, and it will be, again, CT side start for CLG. Liquid electing to start out on the attacking side. What's the investment going to be, though, for the Ts? Because that will indicate very much so what they have in mind. Not quite see it just yet. Armor's going to be picked up by Elige and Fugly. Smoke double flash for Adren. The same for Hiko. And they're just splitting up right now, so potentially trying to get a read on what the defense are up to.
No presence whatsoever for the CTs towards mid. They're going to be opting to have a player in B window. Just trying to keep things nice and passive, and one player facing right into the tunnel. So this is a nice setup. I like this. You can see CTs down towards long. One person just playing passively on A as well, just trying to get info as to what's going on. And now the T's kind of clumping towards middle. They'll be working their way up to short with the bomb as well. So this could be the perfect play from Liquid here. Not going to have any confrontation till they make their play onto the bomb site.
Colors needs to hit at at least one shot. Now this may come into play if they rush in together, Henry, like you often say. Get that first player to jump by. Instead, they go for the drop down. That's a difference in approach. Cutler does hit a Dren, though. Still, that's going to make their matters a lot better, but not if Nitro can do exactly that. JDM down turns, drops Cutler in the middle of the flight toward the edge of the ramp. And that'll put the bomb in place now for Team Liquid. 2 players rotating around from the catwalk position. And Terra coming up from CT is going to collect Nitro. Brings it back to a 3 versus 3. There are no kits up right now, so the more time and the more, not even necessarily kills as Fugly takes Tarek, but the more effort they can put into slowing CLG's retake, the better their chances. But with that kill from Finesse and the one before, it now comes down to the one-on-one. Fugly's got his sight firmly fixed on Finesse, but as mentioned, there's no time. So even though he will collect the last player, he's picked up a kit. Does he have time now? He just picked up the only kit that was in play.
No,
he's gone, okay.
The headline is Team Liquid do take it, although FNS doing great job to give his team a chance. That is not going to be quite enough. Knew where the kit was, and this is such a nice play where you can split the site like this, dropping down into CT spawn and taking down the players that are going a little bit passive there. But the interesting thing about this one is a lot of teams will do this on Dust2 especially. 2 scouts coming out on the second round. This can be very difficult to play. Make it 3 scouts, in fact. So this could be very interesting to see how Liquid can hold this one off. They need to be extremely careful here. The long take does come out. It's going to be Elige leading the charge here with the Mac 10 actually. Doesn't get tagged there, but does get the information of the scouts who are in play. So he will fall back now. And the good thing is they've pushed the CTs back off long. So that's one area they've contended and taken the information away from the CTs. Just need to work out where they're going to go. I'd assume up to A would be the best bet here, as they know they've isolated the CTs onto the bomb site now.
It's from Hazed. Deagle does damage. He doesn't connect the headshot, so Nitro, again, a double on entry. That's 4 kills total now. Scratch that. Make it 5 kills total now for him. Just he and Fugly so far on his team. I know it's early days, but it just goes to show how much Nitro's been able to do. Just Finesse and JDM remaining. And JDM with the scout, they're going to hold on to it.
Yeah.
Or attempt to.
Definitely a good idea. 5-on-2. Scout always viable on Dust2, but what was great about that, as I was saying, Liquid get control of one area of the map, push the CTs back, take information away. They got long. They knew the CTs were falling back into isolated positions. They had the sniper rifles. Get up on short and just smother them. Make sure they have no room to breathe on that site. Got the opening frags, and that's almost a perfect round for them. Not even dropping any frags whatsoever. A lot of damage done from the CTs. They will save a scout as well, but 2-0 now. Favor of Liquid. Definitely looking a lot stronger on this T side. Elige will be keeping that Mac 10 as well, and allows for great recon play there. And it's just the great shots from Nitro. We know how good he can be on these entry picks, and that goes to, that's testament to that round once again. JDM going to be going for that aggressive face. Doesn't see anything towards B. The T's once again getting control of long, so Elige going to be leading the charge of Mac 10. Smoking off the corner as well, but this time not going to be pushing any CTs back, just going to know there's no one stacking them.
So to get a pistol round for Liquid is a much better start than they've had in the past. It's what they need. As Fugly looks to try and get the kill on Hazed at Catwalk. Comes out worse for wear, down to 52, but got the information and forced Hazed back off of that. Meanwhile, they've walked up long in doing so, and Nitro again gets the opening kill. All 3 rounds he's found, the first and the second. His 3rd multi-kill round on entry. Follow that up with a 3rd. What a start the man is having. Elige getting a kill as well. Cutler from the grave will get him, but ultimately, it's still 3-0 for Liquid. Gun's going to come out and straight to the AWP for JDM, but, okay, no, I take that back. He did get chest armor. I thought he would try and bring out a kick because they don't have any instead.
So definitely a wise decision for JDM not to invest too heavily on those 4 spies, allowing himself to have the AWP going into this round. Let's see what they decide to do. CT's going to show some presence towards long. Once again, T's getting into long doors. Maybe just going to do a quick face here. It's going to be Hiko with the Galil spraying for the smoke. Won't find any damage there, but knows CTs are present. Maybe going for a fast mid play here as well. The T's are going to be going for the straight on B split. This could actually work in their favor, isolating the CTs onto the B bomb site.
Nitro looking for an entrance yet again to come through the window, and it's going to be Elige that gets it this time instead. But either way, it still is Team Liquid against the first gun round of CLG. What a start this would be. You talked about being potentially mentally crushed after being so close on Cash. Well, perhaps invigorated was a better way to phrase it, because they've come out with vengeance right now. JDM, they're all going to hold on. In fact, boosting up Cutler just so we can catch them off when they come through that long cave. And he'll use his AWP to protect from Pit, so They've got at least a defense established to hold on to the guns, but unfortunately they needed a better defense on B instead.
Well, this is the thing. A lot of teams will take that gamble of not playing anyone middle whatsoever. You just allow 2 CTs to be in the B bomb side. The idea is you face from the B doors and you try and work out and call for rotations at that point. But it's such a fast strategy from Liquid. They worked out the players were towards long. Hiko went for that early face. You saw that. He knew CTs were there and he gave the call off. Okay, there's 2 playing towards long. Let's get our middle as fast as we can. They know the rotations will be slow at this stage. Quick 2 guys out mid, no contention whatsoever, so they smoke up CT spawn and then pincer the bomb side together. And it was so good. The synergy with the flashbangs going in really did isolate the B players onto the site, and then they just got in there perfectly. Great entry frags. And 4 on the board now for Liquid. They're looking much stronger here. The headline is, though, CLG do save the AWP. Once again, taking long fast, and it's going to force the CTs back. Will they be contending this? They've actually got 3 players towards that area this time. Facing by himself, Hayes gets taken down. Questionable base, but now the CT's responding, and it's actually going to be a deficit there. And now a 4-on-2 situation. AWP still in the hands of JDM.
And for note, it's 5 rounds now that Liquid found the opening kill. Just JDM with the AWP. Not hitting a shot. That's usually one he would. Second effort. Also unsuccessful. Legged him that time, but despite his good work to save the gun in the last round, he may have more problems this time, as with each shot he misses, they do get closer from flanking as Fugly gets in position, but JDM catches him. Good awareness. Ultimately, the round has gone the way of Team Liquid, but he can still do further damage to the economic state of Team Liquid, as last round we saw they went from 5 men alive at the post plant down to just 2, and they then gave up on pursuing. Eventually, this time, though, they'll prevail.
Well, there we go. Like I said, Dust2 can be great like this. You can take advantage of the good spawns you have, and that time as well, CLG making some interesting decisions there, because they sent 3 guys towards long, and then Hayes almost just facing by himself. It seems like 2 guys being pretty apprehensive, wanted to fall back. In that situation, you either all need to go together or just completely fall back together, and that's what they didn't do. They kind of were indecisive as to what was going on. 4 players going towards long once again. It's going to be Eco this time, and it's going to be massive frags coming in. Elise opening it up, lighting up the scoreboard with 2 kills.
Stepped it up a lot in the last few rounds as well. Hasn't even needed to, because his team's just been doing so well at finding early space. But he has been a big part of it. 3 kills now for him in the round. Hiko's got the only other. That leaves Tarek alive and running with this P250. Potentially going to try and get behind them and get post-plant exit kills again, do economic damage, because they have been keeping them fairly honest. Liquid built up a bank. They have at least another round after a loss to work on. Dren's got 10K, but it could have been a lot worse at 5-0. Now looking at 6-0, if not for 2 rounds ago when they did manage to pick up 3 on exit.
Now it seems like Liquid have found the weak area of the map. Long seems like every spawn they get, they're taking it. And this is where the mind games come into play. They can send a couple of players over there to fake it and wait towards B, potentially force some early rotations. Nades did come in, did some reasonable damage there. Smoke going on the corner. That's such a strong smoke to deploy as a T side. You can throw that from T spawn, and it takes away the vision from the CTs. If they want to try and kill you, they have to push past that and get themselves into an unfavorable setup. And now the double AWP setup coming in. And that's actually going to work out. JDM takes down a Dren. That's the matchup we spoke about. Hiko answering straight back onto Hayes, though.
Nitro wants to get quickly toward this catwalk position. So this time CLG gets the opening pick, but they don't get anything immediately after, because the trade allows Liquid to take advantage of some map control, specifically on catwalk as well as they walked up. Fugly will return down catwalk now, turn around and face the members of CLG trying to rotate over from the B side. Planted as well for that position and won't even get that far. Well done by Liquid. This is dominance right now, 7-0, and CLG, it's less and less each round that they're actually contesting in them.
So it's 7-0. Alish has that great long spawn again. The rest of his teammates towards B. I wouldn't be surprised if he went for the long play by himself, got that aggro towards him, tried to get some calls off. That's what was going on. And then his teammates waited towards the B tunnels with the bomb and went in straight after. I think that's exactly what's going to happen here. That'd be the perfect play. Look, 4 CTs going over. This is actually a dream setup for them. He's going to call how much is going on there. And now the team can make their way into B. This is how you play the game, Matthew.
Absolutely. Finesse is above on the box. That'll give him the advantage on Nitro, at least for 1. Now they've got the guns against him. Spot him initially, but he's still doing good damage. In fact, takes Fugly down to just 10 HP, but still they will prevail in the end. And Dren takes down Tarek with the AWP. That adds to the chances here for Team Liquid. No, without the weapons, Hazed. Beautiful shot onto it, Liege. Actually went through the edge of the door. And now they've actually made the retake possible. Bomb's not planted. CLJ has turned this around entirely. Adren's not on the site. That bomb should have gone down much quicker than it did. And as such, CLG has picked up a rifle. They've got Cutler moving toward one as well to try and grab it in his hands. And Adren's got to retake what should be his. And after so many good rounds for Liquid, 7 in a row, Eco is going to be their Achilles heel, the kryptonite against them.
Like I said, that was the perfect play. They had 4 players towards long. 1 was waiting for them in B, and somehow he did so much damage and caused such confusion there. They managed to retake it and get into that run. I have no idea how that one went down. It was very interesting, but Hayes, presumably with another little 1 dig there, taking down the lead. He was the rotation from long, obviously, and that's where it all started to fall apart. But obviously this puts the CTs in a very fragile position now. Adren taking out Finesse to open things up, going for that long take once again. Hiko takes down JDM, huge scalp to take considering he's the AWP player. And now it's a 5-on-3, and like I said, the CTs lose this one. Absolute tragedy for them as they have no money next round. And now it's a 5-on-2. You can only see this going one way.
And all this ultimately does, even though it was an Eco win, which boosts the economy far beyond what it should have been, it still resets the money bonus.
There we go. That's a very quick round. These rounds have been absolutely nuts so far. No love lost between both teams. It's going very aggressive, taking the spawns, and there's been an absolute frag fest. And like I said, that's going to force CLG back onto an Eco. Having a look at the scoreboard there, Hayes having a difficult time. 1 kill for him after 9 rounds played. Well, the other guys really arriving on the scoreboard, to be fair, as well. JDM does have the AWP this round. He actually fully invested into this one, so he's going to be boosted up to short. And a round they would must win, and Adren takes him down. He definitely is winning the all battle so far. Alif taking down Hayes, and now looks like another easy round for Liquid.
Try and rotate through middle right now aggressively. CLG with the pistols. They will take down Fugly as a result of that, but Adren, he's still going to hold Catwalk. They've also got Nitro coming through middle, and Hiko is ready from long to pinch them and hold them in position. Gives 9 now to Liquid. Again, that reset money bonus as well means that they're still very tight for cash on CLG's side, but they're going to force into it regardless. Finesse already going to that FAMAS. M4 is brought up as well by Hayes and Cutler. But unfortunately, JDM and Tarek are limited to just 5-7s.
It's such a difficult place. When you're 9-1 down, you need to start winning right now. And obviously, the force buy, it's definitely a gamble, but they need to get the rest of these rounds, to be honest. And if they lose this one, it could be an absolute nightmare situation for them, as they'll probably lose the rest of the rounds, considering the way it's gone down so far. They'll be pushing off short. There's going to be 1 CT there, though. That's going to be Hazed, waiting. He does get some info there. Does a reasonable amount of damage, and will have to fall back now.
Sustainability on that Catwalk, so they'll throw out a Molotov to the corner and get in position. And when he does round the corner, another entry for him. Between he and Nitro, they've been on point in that regard. And dropping down now, Cutler forced off of this. Nate actually connects with Fugly, but he still isn't blinded by it. So another headshot on Tarek for Fugly, and he wants further. He still wants Cutler. He's lost a lot of HP, and Cutler will win the duel. Watch out in lower, though, because what is going on? FNS just shows up out of nowhere, and he stabs them all in the back with that FAMAS. A 4-kill spray down.
A round they had to win as well. That seemed like it was an absolute write-off. Once again, I think it was a 4-on-2 situation. And Finesse coming into lower B tunnels. Let's just see how that one went down. The perfect storm, it seemed like, as well. Everyone having their knives out, coming into lower B, 4-man spray down. You don't see many of those these days. And what a time to come out as well. Fantastic stuff from him.
Catches them off guard entirely. That was a 4 versus 2 with Cutler on very low HP, and he hit 4 that quickly.
And that's a round they had to win as well, like I said. It could have been a horrible situation for them had they have lost it, but they do keep themselves in this half for now.
Insanity. So the force buy pays off. They're still pretty limited on money, as we can see Hayes limited to just the MP9. Tarek, he'll go to the FAMAS. And having graduated from the FAMAS, naturally, Finesse will go to the M4 instead. Rightfully so.
Graduated with honors, it has to be said.
Yeah. Absolutely. Class president. Smoke furthers the play and also allows for a drop. The support player now has to be Cutler to stop that from happening, or otherwise JDM is going to get very, very high under pressure, and that's exactly what happens. Nitro's able to get into him before Cutler can take him down from that CT position, and that's the important part of that play. He can control JDM, that peak from long, but if that drop play happens and there's no answer to it, it means he's got 2 angles to cover, and it's just almost impossible at that point. Not to mention they also threw out a little nifty smoke liquid to further their push toward quad before they would have been spotted up. Now the post-plant situation. Adren will take down Cutler. Hiko's going to get FNS, and it leaves Tarek in the 1-on-4, and he's going to meet the similar fate. So it is only going to be yet one more round before Liquid answers right back, and it's 10-2.
So Liquid have been playing a very loose game, allowing their big fraggers to get into his favourable situations. Elige and Nitro really stepping up. But that round there, they actually went for a little more methodical stance. Get the full A execute there, wall of smokes coming down, and showing they do have things in their playbook to go to when they need to. And they haven't needed to so far because they've been playing lights out CS, great entry kills. Nitro and Elige, like I said, being fantastic in this loose kind of approach to the game. And once again, Elige is going straight up there. They know they're up against an eco, and this was another nightmare round for CLG to lose. But they answer back. Hayes with a headshot onto Elige with the silence USP. I can't believe he actually managed to get that one, but there we go. Frags do come in favour of Liquid.
Absolutely. Eco will follow up now because his entries have gone low on HP, so he'll take down Finesse as well. In Adren's hands, will eventually go back to grab the bomb. Still 2 players up for CLG. One of them was still on that CT ramp, and the other, well, it's JDM, and we're seeing exactly what he's up to. Catches Nitro unaware that he's still coming through middle on a late rotation. Gets him an AK as well from Catwalk. Smoke out. Low HP right now on Fugly. Chance that if they can find him first, or better still find Hiko, then they have a chance in the round. No armor, no kits, but they're going to go for this naturally so based on the money. Adren getting JDM. That may just be too much for Tarek, but it is. Tarek, remember, and it's low HP for Fugly. He's got all kinds of time for the defuse now.
Another eco round working in favor of CLG.
The 3 rounds CLG now have been the most unlikely rounds for them to win.
It's kind of crazy how that keeps happening. So it seems like favorable situations for Liquid getting the bomb down, and that CZ is doing huge work. Low HP players towards the end of that round gives them another lifeline. It seems Liquid definitely, every round they're losing, like you said, is just situations where it's an absolute nightmare for them. 2-on-1, Tarek making this CZ work for him, gets the defuse with enough time. And now they finally get the AWP out once again. Definitely Liquid still on the driving seat here. Going towards that long play once again. They kind of whiffed their smoke a little bit. CTs will be able to reface this. They're going to be getting towards pit as well. It's going to be Cutler getting in that favourable position.
Dran beats JDM this time, so another opening pick for Liquid. Cutler, though, inside pit will take down Elige. We've seen how sharp he can be over the evening. Always a smoke that doesn't bounce as he anticipated. I think it
Definitely
just caught the lower board on that wall, so that's disappointing. Either way, Hayes will walk forward. They line it up. He actually does massive damage to both before Nitro can get back into him. If he picked up both those kills, another really good chance for CLG to wrap the round. He's still done enough damage that they can, as it is 3-on-3. Bomb's going to go down regardless, though, for Team Liquid again on the A site. So issues there, giving up that site time and time again. Tarek's close, still has to fight himself up the ramp, and it's awkward at times to do so. Tries to smoke off Catwalk to help his chances. That gives FNS actually a great chance to take down Adren, who's focused on the ramp, and the last player alive is now going to be the very low HP Nitro. Stuck on quad, staring down FNS, hoping he will enter. He does, but he's in behind a box that's very spammable, and eventually he will perish in his place. It makes now 4 rounds for CLG.
Definitely need the last round here. CLG bouncing back slightly. That's the first time they've actually strung any rounds together. So 2 in a row for them. And it's obviously not going to break the economy too much for Team Liquid as we go into round number 15 now. That long take coming in once again for Liquid. Like I said, the smoke not quite great for them. So actually allowing the CT to face and get themselves back into the pit. That was Cutler who managed to find the first frag. But now we have a double AWP set up for the T's. Definitely unorthodox, but viable in the last round here. It's going to be Nitro, the AWPs. As they go for the B rush as well. Here we go. Elige leading the charge.
And Elige goes in, but it's Hiko that actually beats him to the kill. Regardless, the 2 of them together made it happen. Reversed it around this time because Elige uses Hiko's help to take down FNS, and they've got the B site to their name. Molotov as well on the window just to hold off any rotations or quick peeks from CLG, but they'll wait, they'll group and try and take the site together. JDM's going to come from the vents, but Nitro, he's already staring him down and hits the shot with the AWP. Before he even has a chance to establish his presence, and that will now not only allow a bomb plant, but give a hefty advantage to Liquid, who look to make it 11-4 before halftime. By far the best half that we've seen out of them to open up a match out of the last, what will now be 4 maps we've seen between the 2. He gets back into Elige at least to make his teammate have a better chance. Cutler, though, still trapped outside the doors, and eventually Fugly finds the head. It will be 11-4.
That should have been a 13-2 to Liquid, you know. The rounds they did lose
Shocking.
was horrible. Yeah, that lower B spray down from Finesse. And this matchup, I'm glad we picked this one out. Hellcat equally. Adren definitely stepping up to the plate this time. He's not actually being outclassed by JDM whatsoever. He's out answering back, getting favorable picks as well. So that's great to see.
That's the other thing as well. The kill distribution, when you look at it 11-4, you would expect that Liquid would be far and away ahead. Nitro's got 16. He does lead the way. But Finesse is on 11. He's actually not that far behind. So that goes to show. And if you actually look back at some of the rounds, you know, there was a lot of times when Liquid did lose a heavy amount of players. Round 15, 3 alive. You go all the way back even to their streak. Round 6, 3 alive, 2 alive. Round 5, 2 alive. Round 4. So there was kills coming CLG's way.
Well, Liquid definitely employing a very loose play style. Like I said, I wanted to see them actually let those players off their leashes and get into open positions and utilize the game. It's exactly what happened, and it looks so good there. Obviously losing a couple of questionable rounds, but ultimately a very good half for them. So now we can see buy coming in from CLG. 2 utility players, all 3 Glocks of armor as well. Let's see what they head towards. Seems like we'll be just feeling out the map. No aggression coming in from the CTs. Actually have got 1 player towards short. That's going to be Adren by himself though, so he needs to be careful. Let's phase 1. I'm going to fall back after getting that info. Good smoke as well, just to slow down the T's a little bit.
And he's trying to get that read and hope that it's correct, that their stack on B will pay off, but so far it's not. They're going to work up catwalk and walk down long. No one to contest, so CLG's going to get an A bomb site. Now the rotation will come over. It's a little bit late. You would have thought Adren would have said that there was people walking up cat. Usually that would indicate.
Well, the smoke he thought would hold them off for a long time. They just went straight through that, got control along as well. This is almost an impossible retake, really.
All coming from the CT spawn. 2 have made it onto catwalk at least. Hiko's got the first kill in the round, but again, they're playing from behind as the bomb has already gone down. Adren, he's got a kit. Elise with another kill. It might be possible here as they've got all kinds of kills. Suddenly, it's just Tarek alive, and he's coming back around from catwalk. Hits Nitro initially, but that bomb is on the inside of the box. They can stick this, and again, Adren has the kit. It's over.
When you have 5 players alive, the bomb down, and you've got the entry kill as well, it's really interesting how the CTs can even have the chance to get up like that so aggressively. You should have crossfire set up, making sure you're holding back the CTs, but fantastic stuff from Liquid. I didn't see them getting back into that whatsoever, but they get the 12th round on the board, and that's amazing for them. The bomb does get planted for CLG. They are going to be able to get the AKs next round, so not going to be investing too much into this. P250s all across the board. Tarek taking some body armor as well. And here we go then. Obviously a huge round. If CLG can get the bomb down again, that'd be great. Probably opting to go up to short again, seeing as they got up so easily last time.
Fugly again opening things up for Liquid. Elige to follow. Fugly steps around the corner once Elige gets pursued by Tarek, and the crossfire system, well, it's worked out perfectly. 4 kills between the 2, 3 of which go to Fugly, and the last it looks like it may as well because he is pushing catwalk where JDM awaits. Down he goes.
So we know the AKs are coming out for CLG. A must-win round for them, has to be said. Could be up against the ropes if Liquid take this one. You can see Nitro actually opting to keep his MP7, going to get a full buy of utility instead, and maybe try and go somewhere a little bit more aggressive, try to go for that first pick, and keep things nice and close range towards the B tunnels. But here comes a long take from the terrorists. You saw Liquid doing this a lot. Will the CTs be able to hold off this time?
Elige will get on the platform at long. Dodges the first flash. Tarek's crossed over. I'm not sure he knows. Either way, he is successful on his first shot. Tarek can just see him through the edge of that, but it's not going to be enough as Elige holds true. He's a very composed player in situations, but Tarek, a great response. Now it's back to 3 versus 3, 2 very key kills for Tarek. It does leave him on 19 HP. JDM is low as well, but Finesse already up toward the platform. Will give them the confidence to bring that bomb up A. Late smoke out. Does he throw the bomb? It looks like he will. Doesn't even want to take the chance with low HP to get caught by any spam that comes through. So it'll be Finesse's obligation to put it in place. JDM's going to establish himself toward long. They know they've got 2 rotating in here. They can hear them both, Fugly and Nitro. 1 kill goes, it's traded, but Nitro gets the upper hand, and now Finesse is caught in the open. He's got Elevator to contend with, and I'm surprised he actually didn't play that more conservatively, knowing that Nitro was coming from long.
Yeah, Tarek doing fantastic work there. It seemed when the CT's got the opening frags towards long, it was Elige doing fantastic work. Really calm play on the platform towards long, making sure he got 2 pretty clean kills, to be honest. And if they flashbanged the entrance and thought they could get another, Tarek answers back. But there we go. Liquid do get the 14th round on the board. The bomb does go down, so CLG getting an extra $800 each into this one, but it's definitely going to be a force buy. 3 rifles. Looks like 2 Tech 9s. Hayes yet to buy, but we'll be picking up low as well. Let's see how this one goes down. AWP for Adren does not manage to land the shot there, but seeing where the terrorists lie. I actually like this boost coming in. It's actually worked out very well for them.
Dren's going to go back toward B this time. Still gives 3 in middle. They win the duel against Nitro, though. So now a Dren who's waiting with the AWP has to hit the shot. It's actually a Liege from CT spawn all the way over toward the A ramp. In fact, through the smoke. Now we'll cancel that out, bring it back to 4 versus 4, and they'll stack up on the platform at A as a result. The Dren's still going to find Cutler. And suddenly CLG, when they thought they might have had a mid opening on that first pick against Nitro, are on the back pedal to reevaluate the situation. Fugly's also pushed out B, which means that Dren can comfortably rotate away from middle because he's got so much information in those tunnels. So onto the A site they'll go, and a Dren, he's already waiting. With the AWP, smoke out as well on elevator. They'll have to go through it. Flash is ample enough to hold the Dren in place, but it doesn't account for the fact that Hiko's waiting on the catwalk. And Elige, he's come around behind. And it's a shot now done again. 15 on match point already. 15-4 for Team Liquid.
Yeah, so this map is pretty much done now. You can see CLG will be forcing into it. Obviously, not much it can do, but considered the ways it's gone down so far, it's going to be ending this round or the next. So 2 scouts coming out, 3 Tech 9s, and the AWP for Adren. You can see he probably will be going for the phase model. He knows he has got the advantage. Nice little flashbang there, and does take down JDM with a headshot. Has to be said, that Adren has been stepping up. He actually gets the bomb down there as well. So they're going to have to cross the gun again, and Adren answers back once again. More fantastic headshots from him.
Nitro coming in. He's going to find Tarek as well waiting, and the last player is in that same position. Little does he know. And Liquid, well, they answer back with vengeance. Never mind being crushed after a close defeat. They show that they are more than equal to the task of CLG. 16-4, and we are tied at 1 in the series. Both teams winning the other team's map.
Yeah, that's interesting, but Liquid just went for a much more looser approach there. We know on Cash when they were going for those fast mid plays, allowing their players to actually get into positions where they can actually utilize their aims. Once again, take longs as much as you can, give the opportunity to Nitro, to Elige to actually have those shots, and that's what they did. He was so strong in those areas, and that's what I like about him. It seems like Hiko, since he joined the team, has said, guys, we're all fantastic players here, we've got great aims. Let's actually just get in their grills instead of working really slowly and actually having to get forced out by the Molotovs and the smoke grenades, having to wait. Let's get out there fast and challenge them and make it duels. And that's what they do, and they did it so well on the T side.
Take a look at the scoreboard. The next upcoming map has strengths and weaknesses for both teams. It's going to be a lot to discuss when we get there. 20 kills for Nitro. He does end up leading the way, and that had a lot to do with his start. He was at 8, I think about 3 rounds in. Nonetheless, Fugly contributing well. 19 totally at 4K in I think it was the 3rd or 4th round of the second half. Tarek, 12, leads his team, but ultimately in the end, despite how I mentioned at halftime, the rounds were close. They were not at all in the second half.
My shot caller, Hayes, having an absolute stinker.
Yeah, mine's Tarek.
So
I didn't go heavy on Liquid either, and this means this is going to go 4 maps. That's the most tomorrow night I can go no matter what. So I may have already been shot myself in the foot here.
That was good. I think Liquid are so much stronger when they actually don't work the picks. They actually just go in and utilize the spawns they have, and it seems like that's where they actually are a lot more favorable. So very impressive to see them getting their confidence back, especially against CLG as well.
Correct me if I'm wrong. CLG won both pistols on Cash?
I remember they won the T-side pistol for sure.
They definitely won the second half pistol.
Yeah, I can't remember the first one.
Yeah,
I think you may be right.
If that's the case, both teams have therefore won the game that they won the pistol, but one was a lot more convincing than the other, which means gun rounds so far have been the command of Liquid. Let's take a look at the heat map.
Well then, let's see how it went down. So Liquid, obviously very fast towards A. A lot of the times, long was a huge area of contention for them. So getting those lot of kills on the corner of A, the CLG.
I think you can count the individual kills they got on their T half. I mean, it was 5 rounds, and ultimately they lost all of them, and they didn't have guns for a lot of it, but what do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 kills, maybe tops.
I think you're right. Yeah, after that pistol round as well, when especially they get the bomb down with no frags being exchanged, you thought that hold would be pretty simple procedure for them. The CTs having to rotate through unfavorable angles and stuff like that. They just completely swarmed the bomb site and actually only dropped 1. So that was a very interesting play indeed. CLG completely locked out of that map.
And we said Elige, or rather we said Nitro was the man that led the way with kills. It's actually Elige that gets the MVP honors. And though Nitro in the first 3 rounds got all the entries, Elige was dominant once the guns came out. He was impressive indeed. And CT as well down toward the long position in a number of occasions. 18 kills overall, 9 of which were headshots. So half of his kills headshots, 2.03 KDA.
And once him and Nitro got rolling, it was a formidable force, especially on the fast plays, getting into positions with the AKs, 1-bullet headshots all over the shop. And CLG didn't really have an answer for it. Even when they tried to do like triple nading certain positions, they were just too fast and got out and just took their heads off before they had a chance to answer back.
Absolutely. Well, we do go to Mirage. Now, Mirage is a map that Liquid enjoys. CLG does very well on. They've had victories, and last night a very narrow loss against Luminosity on it. The thing with Liquid is post-plant was always a problem, and they were very static on their A side. CT, we go way back to 2 majors ago. Flip side had a massive comeback T side against them because of that issues. It's something they've addressed. Have they addressed it enough to take down the power of CLG on this map, though?
I think if they can continue playing the way they are tonight, they've seen that they've got a lot more confidence. That static play comes when you're not really feeling it, you're not really sure what to do. It seems like the guys are firing on all cylinders tonight and actually found a breath of fresh air, it seems like, because they're a different team to when we saw the first time they played CLG. So hopefully they've addressed the issues and they won't be allowing themselves to just sit there waiting to die, essentially. They'll actually be forcing some issues on their CT side and hopefully showing a lot more aggression.
Well, we can only answer those questions one way, and that is to take a break. No, we'll get to the game after the break. We'll be right back. Does hit a Dren, though. Still, that's going to make their matters a lot better, but not if Nitro can do exactly that.
Definitely looking a lot stronger on this T side. These will be keeping their max in as well, and allows for great recon play there. And there's just the great shots from Nitro. We know how good he can be on these entry picks. And that goes to, it's going to be massive frags coming in. Elise opening it up, lighting up the scoreboard with 2 kills.
Stepped it up a lot in the last few rounds as well. Hasn't even needed to. Still going to hold catwalk. They've also got Nitro coming through middle, and Hiko is ready from long to pitch.
How that one went down. The perfect storm, it seemed like, as well. Everyone having their knives out, coming into lower B.
Too much for Tarek, but it is Tarek. Remember, and it's low HP for Fugly. He's got all kinds of time. Steps around the corner once Elige gets pursued by Tarek, and the crossfire system, well, it's worked out perfectly. 4 kills between the two, 3 of which go to Fugly, and the last, it looks like it may as well, because he is pushing catwalk where JDM awaits.